It's a Friday. It's pretty late, certainly for people over in Europe. So apologies to you that are probably going to miss this because it's so late. This is the first chance I got to do a live stream in all this time. I've been doing a lot of stuff here in the workshop and in my personal life, which is a normal thing for people. And it is the summer, so I've been getting some summer downtime. Well, that's not entirely true. It hasn't been downtime. It has been busy time. But anyway, yeah. So welcome, and it's good to have you here. I'm gonna spend. I don't know how long this live stream is going to be, but I felt like it was a good time to get on camera and update everyone on what's been going on, particularly with the workshop, which you may notice behind me. There are a few significant changes that are occurring, and we have spent a lot of time over the last 2 weeks, I guess it is now, updating this workshop space, making it more appropriate and more helpful for the kind of stuff that we do on the channel. So, hey Snedler, how are you doing? Good to see you. And yeah, so we've been doing a lot of work here in this space. And one of the big things is now we have this behind me, which is super fun. And one of the things I was going to try and do today is I need to put some more props up on the wall. So I was going to spend a little bit of time figuring out how to do that, how to take some of the props that we have, or one of the props very specifically, and take it out of the build approach that I had for it before, and do something slightly different with it. But yeah, it's been an interesting exercise. Hey Tony, thank you. Yeah, it's coming together. It's looking good. And I should say that here out the gate, going straight to self-promoting. Apologies. But if you remember, there is a behind-the-scenes video of a tour of the new space. If you're interested in checking that out and becoming a member, you can find that on the member area. Yeah, and Snedder's saying, yeah, it's cool. It is, it is. I'm excited by it. And we had some cabling happen today. So one of the things that's been a real problem with this space has been power. And now, in fact, hiding behind the clipboard here is new power outlets, everybody. That's a huge difference. So I'm excited by that because the power in this space, not wanting to quote Ghostbusters too closely, but is insufficient for our needs, as Egon said. And I had power leads, extension leads kind of everywhere, coming from different rooms to power different things, and that has not been very good, especially right now where it's been so hot. I have this AC unit in here trying to keep the room a little bit more cool, and if the AC unit's running and I try and run anything else in this room, that's a problem. I find that things very quickly go to pot, and the jumper trips pretty quickly. So yeah, so that's my life, or has been my life, I should say. So it's super nice now to have a space where that is not a problem. So yeah, so I'm gonna just get a shot really quickly, and I'm gonna come back with the thing that I'm gonna work on. I'll be right back. So if you're a viewer of the channel, you will remember this. Oh, it's never saying, just saw the detail that your YouTube play button is red when you are live. Thank you. Yep, there we go. It's a red button for live. So you remember, I made this Dune thumper and created this cool sandy effect. And I was playing with, where do I put this in my space here? That's what I was playing with. And I kind of decided that this thing is too massive. And while I remember, I'm going to turn Bluetooth off, because you remember what happened last time I had Bluetooth on and somebody came into the drive. So yeah, so the plan is I want to put this Dune thumper that I created on the wall, but I don't want to have it in such a significant thing, because as you can probably tell, once I start trying to put this up here or something like this, it's just massive. It's just too big. And so, sadly, I'm probably going to have to get rid of this diorama that I built, which is actually pretty solid now. And the idea is to take this out of here and create a little, kind of little shelf for it that I can mount it up here. And I had a couple of thoughts about how to potentially do this. One of which was a very simple one, which is to create, I suppose, a little plinth like this, maybe, you know, about this deep, tiny plinth, and then have this in the plinth. So the idea being is that I drill a hole in here, create a plinth for it, and have it mounted on the wall. And then I could probably use a couple of little, oh my gosh, what is the word? Little brackets to help support it on the wall. So that's kind of my idea, my plan right now at least, is to do that. But I have no idea how difficult it's going to be to get this out of here. I don't think it's going to be massively easy. And the other thing I need to do is just make sure that this is the right depth, the depth that I need to do what it needs to do, so it looks right. So there's a couple of things to do here. And as we're in this new workshop space now, I haven't quite nailed all the camera angles for things, because my my usual camera mount is over here. Look, this is it here that I put the camera on for the overhead shots. So we're just going to work with this. We're going to figure it out. And there's another big job. Snedler, who I know, thank you for being a member, Snedler. I really appreciate it. I put a thing in the behind the scenes video that you can watch if you become a member, about tabbing off the lighting, and you'll notice that it is not tabbed off right now because my temporary tabbing did not work, and so now we've got this fairly harsh look that I need to do some reconfiguring of. So that's another job that I have to do this evening on the space. And speaking of this evening, Sandler, surely it's super late for you over in Europe at the moment. Must be a late one. So I'm gonna come over here. Let's see and see if I can get this space right here. Gonna move my drinks out of the way. And we'll have a little go at seeing if we can figure out a good way to do this. So here's the plan. Now the other thing to note here is that I'm probably going to have to remove this switch from here. And before I do it, you know what I am going to do, because I just want to do it one more time before it goes on the wall. I bought this power adapter which plugs into this, and this is what works the thumper look. So it does actually thump. But if you recall, if you've watched the video, I wasn't pleased with quite how quickly it did it. But you know, it does thump, it does its thing. It would be very cool if I could connect these cables up behind the wall somehow and make it do this. But that's not going to happen today. What I'm going to do today is probably disconnect all of this and get this thing out of here, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, I think. So, I'm going to get a screwdriver, and we're going to dig this out, and try not to make too much of a mess of it. But yeah, and this, honestly, this is PVA glue, oh, there we go, PVA glue and sand, and it's literally like rock. It's crazy how tough that is. I think you could probably very comfortably stand on this and it wouldn't go anywhere. So that is going to create a slight challenge for me in getting this out of here. That's for sure. And of course I'm wrecking my beautiful diorama, but you know, needs must. I would rather have this up on display on the wall than keep the diorama. Oh wow, 1:38 a.m. in Denmark. That's crazy. But can't miss a live when you're able to watch. Thank you. So yeah, so this is going to create a lot of sand. Ever since the last time, that was an explosion. Ever since I did this, actually, when Dune was in theaters, I've had sand everywhere in the workshop. Everywhere. There's been sandiness all over the place. So here we go. Whew, there we are. Finally got it out. So, yeah, what I'd originally done here is I put this kind of channel in here. And for those of you who didn't watch the original video when I made the thumper, I basically carved this piece of polystyrene and then I covered it in a mixture of PVA glue and sand. So I had this big bag of sand. I don't even know where that bag is now anymore, but I had this big bag of sand in the workshop and used it as a way to create this little, you know, sandy surface. But anyway, now I've got to try and get this out of here without damaging it, and hopefully preserve it in one piece here. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, yeah, just throwing stuff everywhere. Everywhere, people. I'm so surprised at how tough this is. It's crazy. Hey Gavin, hey Edie, how are you today? Oh, I am. And if you're just arriving, as you can see, I'm taking a previous project and I am basically wrecking it with an intent in mind. So now it's a new workshop space that we've got here. I want to mount this on the wall, but I don't want to mount it in the absolutely massive thing that it's in. So, there we go. Managed to get out. There it is. A Dune thumper in all its glory. Now, this is a sandy mess, to say the least. I'm going to just put it there temporarily. So, as much as I would like to preserve the functionality of this, and by the way, I'm not going to break the functionality of it, but what I'm probably going to do is temporarily disconnect this cable that controls it and just have this run down the back. And then when I mount it and put it up on the wall, I think I said this earlier, I might be able to reconnect it at some point. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a hole in this piece of wood and have this kind of in it as it's created in that way. So yes. What's going on? Did I answer your question, Ed? Hopefully I did. Hopefully I did. I'm creating a new way to display my Dune thumper. That's basically what's happening right now. So yes, so let me get this camera in here. So the plan will be now that I do want to just get rid of this messiness here. Let's see if I can do this appropriately. So what I've done, when I connected these cables together, let me get the camera in here a bit closer. When I connected these cables together, what I did was I used some heat shrink material that basically helps pull these together. So what should happen is, now I've pulled this off of here, should be able to, I was going to say, should be able to pull these apart. But of course, the first thing that happened was nothing. Oh, there we go. It did. It worked. Now I can save this for another project. And this is a very specific switch for actuators. So a linear actuator, which is what's in here. If I take the lid off here, inside here, this is a linear actuator that causes the up and down movement. So that's why I've got that controller. But yeah, we're going to take this and we're going to put it on display now. So, TG Playtime, hello, how are you? I'm just going to put my iPad over there so I can see what's being said. I have got so much sand everywhere. I'm still, impressed at how literally rock solid PVA glue and sand is. That's crazy. I mean, I think I could stand. I'm going to try. Who wants to see me stand on my prop to see how solid it is? Should we try it? I'm just intrigued. I'm intrigued as to how strong this is. So remember, this is a piece of polystyrene that I can literally take my fingers and break. I put PVA glue on it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, folks. This is the plan. Oh my gosh, look at this. That is so crazy. That is crazy. And that hasn't even dented it. What is going on, people? That is insane to me. That's crazy. And of course, this is what they make big sets out of for movies. They'll take foam, they'll cut it, and then they'll cover it in certain things, spray it. That's crazy. That is crazy to me that this will take my weight. And as I said, this is a screwdriver, right? Here, right? That's going to go straight in, easy. Here, it's like it's made of rock. That's probably far more interesting to me than it should be, but I think that's really cool that those materials work in that way together. I am going to have to now vacuum this space because it is a complete mess from me doing all that. Let's see who's saying stuff on the feed. Let's just talk to folks for a second. Venom Pug, hello Venom Pug, how are you today? So TG Playtime and Venom Pug are both asking what on earth is going on. So that piece of foam that you just saw was the diorama for a Dune thumper that I created, and it's a video on my channel. So if you want to see me, make that, there's a whole video with me making that on my YouTube. It's kind of a fun project, and I recreated a shot from Dune with that. But what I've done is I've taken it out of the diorama because what I want to do is I want to mount this prop that I built on my wall so that it can be part of the diorama behind me. And I'm just going to spin the camera out. Man, there is so much sand here now. Crazy! Too much sand. Behind me, in my new workshop, I'm building this prop wall. So you can see the Ghostbusters props behind me. And then I want more props up here because the idea is that I can stand here, I can chat with you guys, I can film stuff, and I've got props, the props I've built and made up on the wall. One of which that I'm going to add, for sure, is going to absolutely have to be a xenomorph head bursting out of this wall. That's something that I want to do as well. And I don't know if you know, but if you live in North America, there must be some in Europe as well, but they're selling these incredible popcorn buckets at Cinemark here. I think it's Cineworld in England. I don't know what it is in the rest of Europe. That looks like a xenomorph head. So I've tried now for 3 days straight to get one of these popcorn buckets, and I cannot get them anywhere. It's very difficult to get hold of them. But I was actually gonna compare that xenomorph head and do a video where I take the popcorn bucket and make it look more realistic. I thought that'd be a really fun video to do. Anyway, I digress, but you get the idea. The prop wall behind me and other things. You know what else I've just realized as he walks out of shot? I do have some lighting here as well that's designed to light up my sign. There we go. It's coming in there now. This is all part of the new build, and if you want to see a behind the scenes video of me touring the new space as it's being built, you can become a member of the channel. And if you don't know how to do that, there's a link in the description of this live stream. And you can join the channel, become a member. There's a couple of different tiers. You can join and become a member and a supporter, or you can become an explorer and get access to all of our cool additional behind the scenes things, extended versions of the videos for the YouTube, and unique videos just for you, like the one I've done. The next members video I'm going to do is a tour of my geeky basement. That's going to be the next one that will be up and live. Right, what are people saying? Let me grab my iPad really quickly and respond to people. Snedder saying, how, Matt, have you discovered how to build a nuclear bunker out of foam and sand? That would be great, a nuclear bunker out of foam and sand. You see, Snedder, you're giving me good ideas here. Anyone that knows me well, that's seen this channel, knows that I'm going to think about that and I'm going to go, I could do that. Venom Plug saying the prop looks great. Thank you. Yeah, this was a lot of fun actually building this. This was one of those builds that I'm just going to try that. Let's just do it. And I built it. A xenomorph would be awesome on the wall. I'm very excited. I think bursting out above Explore, Experience, Create behind me, I think that would be fun. And then it's Matt's Batcave, more or less. This is my Batcave. You are correct. Confused Yoke said, I would paint it properly. Confused Yoke, were you the person that we had a discussion back and forth about the paint job on this? I think it is. Thank you for your feedback on that. I appreciate it. Clay saying the new renovations to the room look great. Thank you. I'm super excited. And like I said, if you want a behind the scenes tour of it, there's a video for members. Let's see, ED saying, yep, still a Batcave and others. Yes, it is. The Geeky Basement is going to be a fun tour. I'm looking forward to doing that video. Maybe I can make something, ED is saying, maybe I can make something for this year's walkthrough with PVA. Ooh. That's a good idea. And those of you that may or may not know, but the walkthrough or the haunt or the Halloween experience we're creating this year is going to be Back to the Future themed, which I'm super excited about. Clay is saying I should build a proton pack from the real Ghostbusters. I know, a lot of people have asked me to do that, and I've seen a few models out there for it, so I know that it's popular. The other thing that people have been telling me to do is to create a slime blower. My buddy Nick, who owns the Ecto, just procured a slime blower. I think that I probably need to have a video all about his slime blower. I'm sure you guys would like to see the slime blower and have a tour of how it works and how it looks. So that's my plan. I need to speak to Nick about it first, obviously, but that's the plan. Venom Pug saying real Ghostbusters pack would be awesome. Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear, folks. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Right, back to this. So here's my plan. Here's my plan. And by the way, I'm always happy, keep the suggestions coming. If you've seen my community post this week, you'll notice that I kind of gave a list of the kinds of builds that you might be interested in, a kind of selection of ideas for the kind of builds you'd like to see. And quite a few people suggested a themed build and a budget build. And I was thinking it would be super fun to go to like a dollar store and just buy stuff from a dollar store and try and make something from that. So I'm gonna have a few thoughts about that stuff. Let me know, again, if you've got things that you like the idea of me trying to build, let me know and I'm happy to do that. The Green Kermit, just remaking their pack. That's awesome, Green Kermit, that's fantastic. Kira Productions, you should like build the Luigi's Mansion Poltergeist 5000. Wow, wow, indeed. Matt, about the fog machine you've got, do you have a wireless controller for it? I've got an extra and be willing to give you. You can activate it from wherever you stand. That's really kind of you, Sandler. I do actually have a remote for it. And actually one of the reasons, as we're talking about this, let me go get the fog machine that we're speaking about. May as well. I will return. Worry not, people. I am just out of shot. And I am back. So I think this is the fog machine you were talking about, Snedler, I think. The reason I got this one is that it's got DMX control on the back. And if you're unfamiliar with DMX control, hey Stephanie, how are you doing? If you're unfamiliar with DMX control, it means that you can use a computer to control when the smoke happens and when other things happen. And so this does have a remote as well, like a hand remote that I can just use and press a button on. But last time I used this was for our Ghostbusters walkthrough, and I used it with a DMX controller. It was pretty cool, and it's one of the videos that's going to be coming up before Halloween. This jet smoke directly up in the... Look how dusty this is. It's very dusty. This jet smoke straight up in the air in a big funnel of smoke. And actually the video I did on my channel about making thicker smoke, I used that thicker smoke mix in here. If you're looking for thick smoke for Halloween, for your Halloween projects, check out that video on my channel. It talks about how to mix stuff that you can just get on Amazon together to help make a thicker smoke experience. Because I often find, I don't know about you, that the smoke that comes out of smoke machines is sometimes a little bit meh, just not great. So anyway, but this is the one. But yes, I got it for DMX because what happened was this was actually placed right behind the trap when we did the trapping scene in the walkthrough. And what would happen is when the trap opened, we would throw up this burst of smoke that made it look like that funnel of light that comes out of the trap when it's in the movie. So this is how I used it. But thank you, Snedler. And I love smoke machines. I've always had smoke machines because smoke machines make such a huge difference to an environment when you're creating an experience for people. So anyway, there's the smoke machine. Thank you for that, Snedler. What else are people saying? Stephanie's saying that they're okay. How am I? I'm good, thank you. I was saying earlier on the live stream that it's been a busy couple of weeks because I've been doing all this work that you'll see behind me with the help of my wife. In fact, the kids were away at camp and it was just the two of us for much of the time. So it's actually been a really, really cool opportunity to get some stuff done. So yeah, all of this space has been kind of created. The prop wall that you see behind me that I'm trying to add stuff to. So yeah, it's been a big build. It's been busy, and I'm sorry that I've kind of been nowhere to be seen over the last 2 weeks. So this is my attempt to apologize and return to your YouTube screens just to give you a taste of what's been going on. So yeah, so things are going good, and let's get back to what we're here to do. So the idea is to take this cool prop and wall mount it. Now, here's my plan. I should have probably drawn a picture, but it's in my head, so you guys will get it. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna make a little plinth, basically, drill a hole in the plinth, and then drop this into it, and then mount this on the wall. That's the plan. That's the plan. So, first things first, I need to cut myself a little plinth, which is what I'm going to do next. But the first thing I'm going to do, I've moved all my measuring equipment over here, by the way, which has been great. So now I can grab all my rulers right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and of course the pencil I choose looks a bit blunt, So I'm going to draw a line. Let me bring the camera over so you can see what I'm up to. Oh my gosh, my camera work today leaves a lot to be desired, people. Here we go. Right, and this, as you can see, I'm going for pretty approximates here, but this is what I'm going to do. And now I've changed my workshop. I'm going to go over to my cutting bench where I can cut this easily. So let's go over there. Let's go over there. And you're going to see that everything's still a little bit messy right now. But anyway, here, I'm going to try and put the camera over here so you can see the cutting bench. Here we are. Hello. Hello, people. There we go. Cutting space. And now I've got to move all the other junk that I haven't quite finished moving around. But the plan would be that I'll make a cut in this, and we only just had new power put in this space today, so this will be my first time trying out this new circuit, and as usual there's still a bunch of stuff to keep moving all over the place because I'm not fully done with everything. And let's get some extra light on this setting. Here we go. There's some light on here. Alright, love it. Love it. Now the other thing that I'm going to need, and of course it's missing because I moved stuff earlier, is ear protection. Because this thing is really, really loud. And of course, it's the one thing I cannot find. Here we go. Yeah, as you'll soon hear, this is very loud. So, let's just check this is working. It's all good. Excellent. Okay, so we're just going to cut this little piece of wood off. There we go. You can take your earplugs out now if you're following along at home. And there, you've got a nice chunk of wood, which is exactly what we need for the plinth. So now, I'm going to bring you back over to the other part of the workshop with me. Here we go. Don't get dizzy, folks. Bring you back over here. And now what we need to do is, so I've cut this nice little block, but it needs a little bit of sanding because I want it to look good. So sandpaper would have been a good idea to get sandpaper before I started this video, but I kind of did it a bit impromptu. Hey Cameron, how you doing? Good to have you here. And what's Snedler saying? Oh, Snedler's chatting. Oh, you're welcome, Matt. Great smoke machine you got there. Thank you. So good to see it's much easier when it comes to space. This space is great now. I'm just going to be taking you all over the place to different things. But I'm going to go over there, out of shot, to get sandpaper. I shall return. Fear not, people. Fear not. Where is the sandpaper? Here it is. Okay. I have returned with the sanding block. So you've seen me use these before. I quite like these. They're like a sponge, basically, a firm sponge with a sandpaper over the top of them. And then all I'm going to do is just sand these edges down so that they're not sharp and they look better. That's the plan. Also want to get my pencil mark off here because I don't want it to look like I've drawn a line on it for obvious reasons. And you know, you've done this before, I'm sure. What you're trying to get rid of is these striations to make this look better and cleaner. And I found these, it's quite a coarse grit on this sandpaper. It's not too heavy though, but I find it very quick. It makes quick work of just softening the edges of something like this. And the good thing you'll notice is I got a nice clean cut on this, so it's very smooth. And you get that, I don't know if you're familiar with or regularly use sawing equipment, but it's all down to obviously having the right blade in your saw, but also making sure that you don't rush it. So if you put that blade on your circular saw through the wood quickly, it'll start to flay the wood and like pull it apart. But if you can get that blade running nice and fast, and then gently pull it down, it will make a big difference. And if you are of the younger persuasion right now, and you're not an adult, don't saw things with a circular saw unless you have adult supervision or the permission of an adult to do so. Right, so we've got what we need here. So I'm gonna move this camera over. Now, there's a little bit of shenanigans we need to do now to figure out what we're gonna do next, because the idea here is that this obviously has to sit in here, but it has to be far enough back from the wall so this doesn't bump into it. So that is going to be an interesting challenge. So I think that the hole is going to have to be towards the front edge of this in order to accommodate that. So that's what I'm planning to do. So now we're going to screw a hole. Not a screw a hole, drill a hole. We don't screw a hole, you drill a hole. So again, this is the challenge, by the way, with having set up a new workshop. I don't know if you find this when you create a new space, is that you have a muscle memory for where things are in your workspace. So I was literally going over to where I always keep the drill bits, and look, the drill bits are here behind me now. So I'm gonna take this drill bit. And actually, this is a drill bit that's a little dull. It probably needs a better one. But that's not going to go very far. So I think, because basically the width of this, it needs to fit. I want it to come to about here. So I'm going to have to find a bigger drill bit. So let's have a look. There we go. I think this one will serve its purpose perfectly. I think that's exactly what we want. Okay, now I have to decide where I'm going to drill this in order that it doesn't move around, and I think I'm going to just do it in my vise over here. So I'm going to use the vise right there. And let's put this extra bit of lighting on so we can all see what's happening. Move this out of the way. Okay, so oops. So I still need to do a couple of measurements on this to get it spot on. So I'm going to get my ruler here. And let's say that we'll drill the hole. Now, a question for you folks out there. What measuring approach should I use? Should I use metric or imperial? What's the majority of our viewership right now? I need to know, are you an American that uses imperial? Or are you a European? Or actually somebody from basically any other country in the world, the whole of the world, that uses millimeters and centimeters, uses metric? Let me know which one you want me to use. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see who uses which measuring technique. And if you're like me and you're basically a product of two systems, which one do you use now? Because I find myself falling into inches and eighths of an inch sometimes because I have to know that measuring format. Otherwise, I can't do things here in the United States because everything is measured in inches and eighths of an inch, etc., and feet. So I need to understand that process. But I do find myself struggling to convert back and forth between the two. So, which measuring format do you use? Let me know in the chat while I figure out this next step here. Okay, is this going to fit in here? Is the next question. It's just going to fit. There was so much sand, by the way, when I pulled apart that original prop. I've actually got sand in my mouth. That's crazy. Right. The other thing I'm going to do, which is an important thing to be aware of, is I'm going to just put a little bit of a buffer in here, so that the vise does not damage the wood and create like an imprint on it. So that's my plan there. I just realized that is not entirely straight, folks. Okay, that is now straight. That's the plan. Right. Nobody's told me what measurements to use, folks. What are we using? Jacob is a hybrid. Excellent. Tony's saying metric. Sned is saying, how long did it take you to build your workshop? Here it's centimeters and millimeters. Well, my workshop's been a work in progress, actually, for a long time. But the work that we've done on it to get it to this stage has probably taken, let's see, I don't know, like a week and a half to get to this point. Maybe almost 2 weeks now. Let's see. No, a week and a half. I'd say a week and a half. Well, I took some time off work to get it done. Cameron's saying, because I really want you to help me with a haunted corn maze. Oh, yes, Cameron mentioned the haunted corn maze before. That's cool. It sounds very cool. And I know that you want my help with it. You have to let me know a little more about it. I don't know how much availability I'm going to have before Halloween because I'm running my own thing here. Right, let's measure this up. I'm going to say centimeters was the majority, or hybrid. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put a mark here at 3 centimeters. And then the width of this is actually 9 centimeters. So I'm sure you know this, and this is a similar kind of challenge, but here in the United States, this is meant to be a 2x4, but actually it's only 3.5 inches by 1 inch. Maybe this is a 2 by 1.5. But because they plane the wood down, they give you the measurement in the original size, but not the planed down size, which is very confusing. So if you buy a 2x4, it is not a 2x4 here. Right, so this is 9 centimeters. So the middle of this is going to be 4.5 centimeters. And so the plan should be that I get basically across in broadly the right spot here where I'm going to drill my hole. Excellent. Now, it is drill bit time. I quite like this drill bit because it has this guide at the beginning that kind of, I don't know if you can see that, it screws itself in and makes sure that it's in the right position. So, just do some adjustments here. I'm so used to using this hotfix thing on my screwdriver that just drops bits in, that when I have a bit like this that's bigger than I'm expecting, it's always confusing to me. I'm like, why does that not fit? It's very strange. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to get this in the center. Then, like I said, that screws in. Let me just move this down a little bit so you can see. I'm going to go nice and slow on this, for the same reason as before. Just keep it easy going. All right. Let's see how we're doing. I think we're almost through the other side. We're very close indeed. So what I might actually do, in order for the wood to not, so you see you've got that nice hole now at the back. If you pierce this piece with the screw, the drill bit, you're going to snap some of the wood at the back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this over, and because we have that guide hole, if I drill from the other side, strictly speaking, we should find that this hole meets up. There we go, look at that. So that should be now a nice clean hole on both sides. That is the plan there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I was going to use a Dremel, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just use my sander to just sand in here to get that nice and tidy looking. Let's see. Same here. And actually the hole is a little bit rattier on the top side, I don't know if you can see that, than on the bottom side, which is probably fine because the bottom is probably going to be more visible to me because I think this is going to be mounted up high. So I'm going to use a Dremel just to tidy this edge up here, just to make it a little bit tidier looking. This is that moment in the video where I go super quiet because I'm concentrating. And what I'm also doing is, it's obviously a bit jaggy in here, in that hole, so I'm just tidying this up. It will also mean that there's a little bit more space inside here for the thumper. I don't know what the sharp end of the thumper is called, but the piece that you use to stick it in the sand. If you've seen Dune, you know what I mean. And if you haven't, dust, you will soon find out. This is another reason why I shouldn't be talking while I'm doing this, because I'm breathing all the dust in, and it's getting in my throat. Not a good idea, Matt. Not a good idea. Right. I love this little Dremel, by the way, having a little wireless Dremel. I've got one that's not wireless, but this is super helpful if you want to just grab it and do something like this super quickly. Right. Okay. Moment of truth, folks. Let's move this back over here and see if this fits in okay. I have a hunch. Oops. That was the ceiling. Hope you enjoyed that brief distraction from what I'm doing by seeing the ceiling in the room. It was really cool, wasn't it? So, here's the moment of truth. Oh, look at that. That is exactly what I wanted. Perfect. Perfect. And so the idea is, see if I can get a clear bit of wall, is that this will be kind of mounted on the wall like this, and then you'll be able to, oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. It won't be mounted here, obviously it'll be somewhere else, but the idea is that it's mounted on the wall, and then you've got the prop on the wall like this. So yeah, that's the idea. And it's a bit wibbly wobbly in there because there's still a lot of PVA glue. You can see it around here where it was originally stuck in. So I just need to make sure. This 3D prints in multiple layers actually. So look, that's a separate piece. So I just need to get that bit right. And then I'm going to have to hide this cable out of the way somewhere so you can't see it. But I'm actually quite pleased with that. I think that will work well. I was thinking of putting it, let's see if I can turn this camera around, but like, you know, up on the, oh my gosh, the cable from my vacuum is getting in the way. So the idea is to put it up somewhere like this, look. sits on the wall like that. I think that's going to look pretty cool. Yeah, so yeah. But there you go. Oh, Cameron's internet's struggling. Sorry, Cameron. Snedler saying it feels like I'm flying every time you pick up your camera. You got it when it comes to tools. Sweet. So there we go. I think we're in a good spot. So now here comes the other bit, which is how do we figure out the next bit, which is how do we attach that to the wall is the question. And my plan was to use a couple of little brackets that we would, it's all right, it's not an earthquake, we're all good. A couple of little brackets that we would put onto the wall and then nail in the bottom. But here's the thing that I just realized. If this is going to be up high, what I don't want to do is see the brackets underneath this. I think that would be, I just don't think it would look very good. So it may be that the brackets actually go round the back and over the top. I'll show you what I mean. So I have some kind of very mini brackets here, something like this. And the idea would be that I would first of all drill that into the wall and then drill into the top or screw into the top of it. Sorry, on the other side here is what I would do. And then that would hold it in place because the prop is actually very light. It's not a very heavy prop at all. So that should hold everything in its place, I hope. That's my plan. That's my plan. But here's the harder part. All of that stuff we just did was super easy. The really difficult part is figuring out where on earth I put it on the wall. Rebecca, hi, how are you? It's good to see you. I'm doing a later stream than normal tonight. Even after the vote that we did on my channel, where everyone said, don't do it late on a Friday, on a Saturday night. This is the only time I've got this week to do it. So I'm so sorry. I apologize to those that are gonna text me later tomorrow and go, I missed your live stream. Why was it so late? And I'm just gonna have to apologize. But anyway, hi Rebecca, it's good to see you. Have you been enjoying this horrific weather that we've been having here in New Jersey? Okay, so that's my plan, and I'm hoping that that's gonna work. But, like I said, I've got to figure out where on earth on the wall it goes. I'm going to just give you a Matt's eye view and you can see what I'm talking about and you can make a decision about what you think we should do. So just so you can see, this is the wall space here. And by the way, if you want a behind the scenes tour of the space and how it's looking here, the new space, I just posted a tour on my members area. So if you want to become a member, you can get that behind the scenes tour, and I'll also be posting a whole bunch of extended videos. Oh, you're welcome, Snedler. No, it's good. I'm concerned that I've been busy mainly with doing the workshop, and so I wanted to make sure I did some kind of live. So here's my thought. So this is the wall, and we will put extra props and things up here, and obviously that wire is going to disappear. But here it's probably going to be out of shot. I mean, it could go here like this, which would look cool, but I don't think it's ever going to be seen if it goes there. So I was going to start putting some props kind of up here. Now my arm isn't long enough to get it further enough away from the camera, but you kind of get the point that I'm making, to kind of put some props up there. And I've got other things like the ecto goggles here. That was another prop I wanted to put up on the wall, but I didn't really want to put it right next to all of the other all the other things here. So yeah, that's kind of my question. So let me know in the chat what you reckon. Oh, above the play button. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Rebecca. That's what I was thinking, but I'm happy for your thoughts. And I suppose the good thing, that one of the great things about this surface that I've chosen for the walls of the workshop is that you can drill things into it and you can undrill things from it. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this, by the way. this sticks out from the wall, look. I'm gonna have a full video of my creation of the space later on. So yeah. Yes, the play button is a strong focal point. The other thing with it, I was thinking of putting the play button up on the wall, but then the part of me thinks that maybe it's helpful to have it movable, because I might want to put it somewhere else depending on, because I'm sure you get this, right? But people that are new to the live stream, seeing the play button behind me and the branding is something that draws people's attention. So it's having stuff in the background that draws your attention when I'm talking that really, really helps people to stay a bit longer than they might stay. So that's the other thing I was thinking about with that. So maybe having it kind of up here in this space. I think that's what I'm hearing from Rebecca anyway. Let me know if you like that idea. Hit the heart button if you think this is the place I should put it. Rebecca's saying, I would not want to mount it. You want the flexibility and be able to move it. Yeah, with the play button. I agree with you. I agree with you. I see hearts. I see hearts. I think, I think that sounds like it. And I suppose if you think about it, that there's going to be shots like this, shots here, and then of course this is a vertical live stream, so everything's kind of up, unsurprisingly. So yeah, I'm gonna try. Let's try doing it over there. I'm here. I hear it. I hear what you're saying. There we are. I've clipped you now on. And now I've got to make a fool of myself and see if I can actually mount this on the wall. This is going to be an interesting one too, because wherever I mount it, I need to think about the size of the thumper. This is where I'm regretting getting the smoke machine out now, because it's on my steps. Right, here are my little workshop steps. Let's see if we can figure this out. This is where on the live stream I fall off the ladder and you guys get to clip that and make it funny for later. I'm not going to do that intentionally, by the way, just so you know. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Something like that, maybe? I think maybe in a little, because it's probably going to work. So, oh, of course, I don't have a pencil. Of course I don't. Right, I'm going to say there for now. That's what I'm going to suggest. And then, if I don't like it, we can move it. And I'm going to put some other stuff next to it anyway, so I think we're good. Right, let's move this play button out of the way. And the other thing I need to obviously do is check that that line I just made is actually in the right position, that it's straight. So, let's see here. That's my line. And I'm going to draw a new line just above it that is actually straight. Slightly different. And then I've got to put two of these in position. The first thing I am going to do though is it's probably helpful. No, I think we're good. I'm just going to put these two holes in here. Now I need a couple of tiny little screws that are going to work perfectly for this space. So I'm going to find those. Let's look for them. So I've been moving actually all of my screws. I've been in things like this. Things like this. And now I'm moving everything to something else. Again, if you want to see the behind the scenes, check out the members video. And yeah, join and become a member. You know you want to. You know you want to. And you can see that exclusive video. So I'm trying to find something that's not going to stick out too much. I think I've got the right one. I'm going to go over to the wall where all my screws are held, and I'll be right back. Right back. Okay. Here we go. So these are actually drywall screws, little tiny drywall screws. But what I like about them is they're super sharp at the end, which makes them perfect for very quickly putting stuff into the wall like this. So I'm going to do what I typically do in situations like this and guesstimate roughly where to put something. And I'm still here, don't worry. Get my screwdriver fixed up. This is my favorite tool in the workshop, by the way. I don't know if you've got a favorite tool, but this screwdriver cum drill, I use it every day for something, pretty much. Okay, here goes nothing. This is where everything comes to pieces. All right. So this is going to go in the wall here. Ugh. These kind of things are awkward when you're kind of leaning over into a space where you haven't got a lot of access to everything. Okay, that's pretty good. And then the next one here. Oh my gosh, come on. You know you want to. In you go. There we are. All right. All right. Okay, so still there? Good. So now we're going to throw that in. I'm going to bring the camera closer so you can see if I can get it up here into this corner. All right. Hopefully I won't be too much in front of that, but can you see that okay? There we go. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so the idea is that I need to mark this up first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in position like that, and then I'm going to mark the little places where I need to put the screws. So there we go, that's what we end up with. And then, in order to make my life easier, I'm going to drill a couple of guide holes so that the screws will go into the... Actually, you know what? I just realised I don't even need to do that. I'll use a brad awl. A brad awl is one of these. Looks like a screwdriver that's been sharpened into a shiv. So that's what it is. And I'm going to make a couple of dents in here. Can you see that okay? Let me just turn this down a little bit. I'm going to make a couple little dents like that, where the screws will go. So it will make it easier for me when I mount it on the wall to get it in the right spot. Right. Let's get this shot back up there again. And then what should happen is I can pop this up here, and it should help me to get the positioning right. And I'll screw this first one in. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. And then the last one. Okay. And now, it's a mini floating shelf. Look at that. A teeny tiny floating shelf that will hold. It's my Dune thumper that I'm going to have to get rid of that cable. I'm just going to hide it up here for a second. Like that. But there it is. My prop is on the wall. Whew. There we go. There we go. It is there. It has happened. I can put my play button back. There we go. I'm quite pleased with that. I think that looks all right. And I like the fact that it looks like it's floating. Yeah, I'm going to take this camera off here and turn this round. So yeah, it's just kind of floating there. And way better than if you've joined us late. It was in this, if you recall, if you watched me making the video on this. But yeah, it was in this block of polystyrene that I'd made to look like sand. And one of the things that was cool that we did earlier was I stood on this because I was like, this thing is rock solid now, even though it's made out of polystyrene, and it totally takes my weight. Crazy. But we didn't want that on the wall. So now, when I stand back here, the prop wall is really coming together. I'm pleased with that. And there's space for more stuff up here as I build it. Probably the alien head up there, I reckon. So yeah, there we go. So Cameron's asking for a tour. So Cameron, I'll give you a quick one, but I did a tour on my members area, and so cheekily, I'm going to save that for my members for a couple of weeks to give them the opportunity to enjoy that for the tour. And then once it's been up on the members area for a bit, I'm going to have a whole video on actually building the workshop. But yeah, you can have a quick tour. Here, I've got an extended workbench now for sawing and cutting. So actually the whole of this area now is so much bigger. Still a mess because it's unfinished, but it means that I've got a lot more space to jump around in projects, and I don't end up with what I would typically end up with, which was no space for anything. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. And I can't remember, and the other thing I mentioned earlier, one of the things that happened literally today, so those of you that are members won't have even seen this, it's a bit messy still, but I had power, industrialized power installed here, which makes a big difference. So I've got a lot more power outlets in this space, which makes a huge difference to me because everything was on extension leads. And then I've moved some things around. So yeah, and then I really like this area here underneath that. It's kind of almost, I see this as kind of, this is the show space where we play with stuff. Then this is kind of the building area. Then this is going to be soldering. I'm going to have a vent over here for pulling up soldering and cutting. And then this is kind of the wood cutting area over here. That's the plan. And you'll see some other cool things that have been starting to develop over there. But again, I'm going to leave those for the member video. And I'll do a full video for everyone a bit later. And of course, an extended version of that for members when I get a chance. So yeah, cool. Okay, there it is. Hopefully that gave you a bit of a sense of it, Cameron. And you could get to see, need to put my teeth in. And you can see the kind of work and effort that's been going on. Right, let's have a look at the chat real quick here. So yeah, Cameron's asking if I want to be a designer in his production company. Wow, that's I take that as a huge compliment, Cameron. We'll have to talk about that offline. Rebecca's saying, how cool, that space looks like you have many options for building all the things. I do. As you know, because I know you've watched a lot of my live streams, and it didn't change massively today because we're not finished, but it was always like, you know, one of those little tile puzzles that you have, you know, when you play the tile puzzles. Is there a picture made of square tiles and it's mixed up and there's a spare empty tile space? This room always felt like I had to move all the tiles around to get that empty space to do something. So we've made a big difference here. The challenge is, I don't know if you find this when you're trying to clear up a space or create an environment that works for you, is number one, the minute you start to do something, the possibilities become endless and you start going, oh my gosh, I could do this, or should I do that? And Esther and I spent a lot of time just standing in this space, looking out, going, what do we do with this? Where do these things go? So, yeah, the Tetris of a workshop. It literally is like Tetris. Yeah, that was the biggest thing. How am I hanging the proton pack on the trap? That is a great question. Let me show you, Tony. Yeah, I'm going to take the camera off here. And turn this around. Woo! Here we go. Right, so the pack, I got a couple of garage hangers, I guess. You can see those at the back there. And I use those, and they're just hooked underneath the Alice frame. And then the trap, you're going to find this incredibly rudimentary. I actually just put a couple of screws like that in the wall. Long ones, very long ones, and as the trap's very light, place them, you know, I figured out where exactly they should go, and then the trap just sits there, which is super simple, but I like it because it looks like it's floating. I love the idea of the props kind of existing where they are without lots of stuff holding them together, which is again why I wanted to do a very simple holder for that, because the idea is that even though they're hung on the wall, I want people to be able to look around them and beside them, and And actually, it's quite nice to have it up there now, because as you know, when we've done videos in the past, I've had to do, I've had to pull it up off the floor. It's been on, on the floor down here, getting messed up. And yeah, so the idea is to try and make these as visible as they can and not have them hidden in any way. So that was my thinking anyway. Yeah, and you're right. If it works, right? Because I think, yeah, I'm always a fan of keeping it simple. It's amazing how over-engineered you can get if you overthink something. And sometimes you don't need to. I mean, I'm not saying, by the way, that this would work in an earthquake. Or that it would be appropriate for a Universal Studios style touchy-feely type exhibit. But for my purposes, it is exactly what I need. Lord, we had the same thoughts there, said Sedler. And Rebecca, yeah, saying simple does it sometimes, exactly. Save the difficulty for another project. Yes, there are plenty of other difficulties that I have all the time, as you well know. And this wasn't one of them. So I kept it simple. It's the same actually for all of this stuff here, hanging here. The reason I like this plywood here that I've used is that you'll see here, look, I had something screwed in there and then I moved it because I moved the tool. But you get back a little bit and you can't even tell that there was a screw in there anywhere. And so it means that you kind of have flexibility for wherever you want to put anything. So like all of these were moved when I changed things up. These have been moved here, and again, you can see there was originally something there, but it doesn't matter because you stand back and you're like, I can't tell because this is so busy. It's a busy surface, so you can't see it. Hey, yes, have some. How on earth are you? Thank you for joining. Hey, it looked like you folks had an epic time at Comic-Con. I wasn't jealous at all. And hey, I'm like, as you hear, hey, everyone, welcome. Yes, have some. The amazing Ghostbusters podcasters, and also they have this fantastic podcast, Toy Anxiety, as well, which is awesome. They were just at Comic-Con and did a panel with Hasbro. So yeah, very, very cool, very, very cool. But yeah, I was just showing people around my new space that I've been creating for building props and stuff here. This is what we've been doing. Yes, have some. So yeah, this is the plan, and we're talking about keeping it simple. So we were talking about how my trap here on the wall. This is, by the way, those of you that know the story of this trap. Let me just switch this around. This trap, even though this is upside down, this trap was signed by Adam Savage, which I'm very proud of. But yeah, I was just showing the fact that it's just a couple of screws in the wall holding that together, which is kind of funny. But yeah, and any other questions? That was a great question. Oh yeah, Rebecca asked me a question. Universal, yeah. So I'm hoping to go. Well, I'm definitely going for Halloween Horror Nights. So I've got to check out the Ghostbusters stuff. I know the Yes Have Some crew are planning to do the same. So yeah, super excited for that. It will probably, thank you guys. Yeah, it's looking all right. It's coming together. Yeah, I excited to see what they've done with Ghostbusters. One of the things I actually really wanted to do, and I was telling you I was planning to do it, was to get to see the parade. But I haven't had a chance to see the parade yet. Life has taken over and there's been a lot of other busy things, but I'm going to be going in early October. First week of October is hopefully the plan right now. To go check out all the Ghostbusters stuff and everything else. I mean, who doesn't love Halloween Horror Nights? It's fantastic. So super excited to see that. Well, and Snedler, yeah, Adam Savage is a cool guy. I was very lucky to meet him at a convention in Philadelphia that he was at. It was really fun. We chatted HasLab stuff because he'd had the inside track on a lot of the HasLab things. So he was excited to talk about that. And he was also hinting at a few things that since then have come out on his channel that, yes, have some also got to see some of the cool behind the scenes stuff in Great Britain. So yeah, Cameron saying, yes, have some making my own Ghostbusters movie. Yeah, Cameron, I don't know if you've met Cameron, yes, have some crew, but Cameron has got some super creative stuff going on that he comes up with and is making. In fact, Cameron, we talked, didn't we, on my video Ghostbusters Day, a little bit about that when we met in person. I have to say, that was super fun. Those of you, I know some of you couldn't make it for very good reasons, but Hanging out for Ghostbusters Day in New York was super cool, and it was really, really fun. Those of you that were able to make it, that were folks that follow the channel, it's been awesome to meet you guys in person. So I think that's why I'm going to call it for today. Now we have the Dune Thumper up on the wall where it's supposed to be, and the packs and other things up here. I, of course, now I've done all this stuff, got a load of tidying to do. Hey, Francisco, how are you doing? Got to see the 2 in a box at Comic-Con. Very impressed with it. That's cool. I'm glad you went. And how was Comic-Con for you? I have not been to San Diego Comic-Con, and it's one of the Comic-Cons I really want to go to. I am toying with the idea of being at San Diego Comic-Con next year, all being well. That's the plan. That is the plan. So, because it's, you know, a lot of stuff happens there. It'd be a fun place to go and to be, but that's really cool, Francisco, that you got to do that. I filmed a highlight recap of our annual Buster Muster. Oh, that's cool. Now, I had a link of that, and I watched some of that. Yeah, so yeah, if it was it the Los Angeles Ghostbusters stuff? Correct me if I'm wrong. I have a lot going on through my head, so yes. But that looked super cool, if that's the case, and I'm making the right links in my brain, because I'm tired. It's been a long day. And there's another thunderstorm. Negative. Oh, it's Ghostbusters were in Long Beach. Ah, okay, thank you. See, I'm making the wrong connections. I'm glad that my brain isn't going. I'll have to check that out. Is that on your YouTube? If it is, let me know. And feel free to highlight where it is in the chat. Very happy for you to do that. So yeah, I'm going to call it quits for tonight. Thank you for joining, especially those of you that are all the way over in Denmark, like Snedler, who's super late for them, middle of the night. Yeah, I need to tidy the mess that I've created from adding the stuff on the wall here. So yeah, we'll call it quits. Thank you for joining the live stream. It's been super fun to chat with you guys, and we'll see each other again soon. And if you're not a member yet, consider it. Obviously, you don't have to, but there's a whole behind-the-scenes tour of everything that you're seeing behind me now as an exclusive members video. So consider that if that's something that you're interested in doing. And otherwise, have a fantastic night. Thank you for joining. I super appreciate it. And we'll see you